everyone. Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And today it's day 2, or part B, of our Telephone English ABC Talk unit for this month. And today we're going to be learning about something that you might have to do on the telephone that if you're not very comfortable on the telephone, if you don't use the telephone very much, this could be a little bit scary. But in your life, you will have to do it, and it might actually be part of your job to do this if you have a certain kind of work. So, we're going to be learning about calling someone you don't know.
Oh, I have a story.
Yesterday we called a dentist's office. That's okay. You might have been there before. You call your friends or family, no problem. But imagine calling someone you don't even know who the person you're talking to is. And you said you had a story about this.
So this was about 10 years ago.
Okay.
I had a job. It was a marketing job.
Oh, so that was your job.
That was my job.
Ooh.
So this is called cold calling,
right, yeah.
where you call people that you don't know and they hang up on you a lot. Well,
really?
okay.
So rude.
Sometimes they hang up on you. So I worked for a company and we were trying to sell a software.
Okay.
So we wanted to see if somebody was willing to, buy this and sell it, like Amazon or any sort of other seller.
So you were calling companies?
Yeah. I was calling companies or
scary.
maybe like individual like bookstores or something like that.
Right.
So we had to call and introduce ourselves and say, oh, I'm working for this company. We have this software. Would you be interested in? So of course, when someone hears this, if they know you're trying to sell something, they might just hang up.
Because they're busy, because they're not interested.
Because they don't want to buy anything.
They don't want to buy anything.
Yeah.
That's so rude, though. Did they just say, no, thank you, I'm too busy, bye-bye? Or they just hang up? Click.
Got a bit of both.
Oh my God.
But I do not appreciate that kind of job. That was a scary job for me.
Because it's your job, you kind of have to do it, right?
Yep, and then you have to cross that name off of your list.
How many phone calls would you make in one day?
50.
And how many times would people call up or say no?
Probably like 35.
Oh man, that is tough, you see? So if calling someone is your job and you're nervous on the phone, your life is gonna be hard. So let's learn how to call someone you don't know to make your life a little bit easier. Laura is making a call to Jack Johnson.
Hello, Jack speaking.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. My name is Laura Kendrick, and I'm calling about your advertisement for an assistant.
Wait, how did you get my phone number? It wasn't in the ad.
All right, so let's see the situation. Who is calling who? We do know that these people are strangers. They don't know each other, as we learned. We're calling someone we don't know. So let's find out what's going to happen. Laura, it says, is making a call to Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson?
Jack Johnson, that's right. Remember, these two, they don't know each other, so I'm guessing this is kind of a business call or something like that, right? Well, anyways, let's see what happens. The phone rings, and one side picks it up, and we see the person says, hello, Jack speaking. So Jack is the guy picking up the phone, and that's a polite way of, especially if you're working in a business, you say your name as you answer the phone, so the customer can, call you by that name.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. My name is Laura Kendrick, and I'm calling about your advertisement for an assistant. So we can see Jack Johnson is hiring, and Laura wants to be his assistant.
That's right, and she knows about this job opportunity because of an advertisement she saw. Maybe online, maybe in a newspaper, somewhere like that, one of those websites like 104.com. That's for jobs, right?
Taiwan 104.
Yeah, you'll see advertisements for jobs there, but you see advertisements for many things anywhere because advertisements are basically public notices. Could be a sign, could be a poster, could be something you see on TV, and it's from a company telling you about something you might be interested in, a job you might want, a product you might want to buy, a new sale that's happening, something like that. Of course, this word is quite long, advertisement, so we often shorten it down to ad. You could say, I saw a job ad a job advertisement or a sign or something saying, "We are looking for workers." And if you're interested, you call the place on the advertisement.
Yes, that's right. And the job that Laura wants is an assistant. So when you see a word that ends with ANT, that means it's a noun, it's a type of person. And what does the person do? She would assist. So that means to help with something. So when we have a person who needs an assistant, that means this person's very busy. So he probably has a schedule and she checks his schedule. She helps him buy lunch. Maybe sometimes she does the dry cleaning or she calls other companies for him. He's probably some kind of boss, and so he needs a special assistant or a personal assistant, which is somebody who's next to him taking care of smaller jobs for him every day.
Interesting. All right, so let's get back to our conversation. So Jack has answered the phone, Laura has introduced herself, and then Jack suddenly has a question. He says, wait. He's like, kind of hold on, hang time out here. I have a question. How did you get my phone number? It wasn't in the ad. So Jack obviously works for the company. He knows about this ad or the advertisement, but he's wondering how this person, Laura, who he doesn't know, got his phone number for his desk in his office
weird.
In a big office building. And because his number, his personal phone number, wasn't in the ad. So yeah, how did Laura get the number she needed to call him?
Maybe she knows somebody who knows him.
Interesting. Could be something like that. And we'll find out what it is after the break.
I just called the company's main number, and when I asked for you, the operator put me through.
I must say, that's very clever of you, Ms. Kendrick.
Thank you. I try.
I could use somebody like you. Can you come in for an interview tomorrow?
Of course. What time would you like me there?
All right, so Laura says she's explaining how she got Jack's number. And she says, I just called the company's main number. And when I asked for you, the operator put me through. Okay, so this was a transfer.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, she doesn't have his personal number.
No, she doesn't.
I got
but
it,
of course,
I got it.
Any big company, or most big companies, will have an operator working for them. And an operator is kind of an old-fashioned job. I think a lot of it's
Very
kind of done by
old.
computers these days.
That's right.
But basically, it's a person who's in charge of the phone system in some big office, big business, big company, big organization. When you call up, you can't just call anyone in the office. You have to sort of get permission or get a special number. Maybe that person is away, maybe they're busy. So the operator will kind of handle all the telephone calls that come in. And also, if you're on your normal phone, if you're using your phone and you have any trouble, I think you can still press 0 on your phone.
To talk to the operator.
And you talk to the operator.
Sometimes 9, right?
I'm not sure what it is. I haven't used an operator for a long time. But for example, I know in the old days, if you needed help calling another country and didn't know all the numbers to press, you can press 0, say, I'm trying to call America and I don't know how to call New York City, and they can help you, for example. Because basically the operator knows all about the telephone system and they can help you get in touch or get to the phone that you're trying to call. Anyway, so this was kind of a nice idea. I guess Laura did something that the other people who are interested in the job didn't do.
They don't ask for him directly.
That's right. She actually got right through to the boss, to this Jack Johnson guy, and so he kind of thinks that's a little special. He says, I must say, that's very clever of you, Ms. Kendrick. It's kind of smart to, you know, find your way to get right through to me without just having the operator answer your phone call.
Laura says, thank you, I try. So they're having a very good relationship with each other. At least Jack Johnson seems to be very impressed with Laura because she's very clever. So we have this word clever here. That means you're very smart. It means you have some quick way of doing things. Maybe your thinking is fast. Maybe you do some things other people wouldn't do. You've got some some really sharp and good ideas, then we would say you are very clever. And Jack Johnson thinks that Laura is very clever because she called and asked for him directly.
That's right. She's intelligent and her mind moves quite quickly to come up with answers to problems that other people might not be able to find an answer to. Anyways, back to Jack. He then goes on to say, I could use somebody like you.
Ooh,
I think you're right, Rainbow. He kind of is impressed a little bit with Laura, how clever she is, how she was able to reach him directly. It shows that when she faces a problem, she looks for a way to go past that problem and to solve the problem. So he's thinking this was the right person for the job. I think we could use somebody like you. And then he says, can you come in for an interview tomorrow?
That was fast.
Already this guy who could be her boss is definitely interested in meeting her. He wants her to come in, I guess, as soon as possible, which would be tomorrow for a job interview, like other people. But I think you're right. Already she has a few little plus marks or stars next to her name to say, you know, I think this one could be the right one.
And Laura's free because she called him for an interview. So she says, of course, what time would you like me there? So she's immediately available and she says, when are we going to meet? And she's excited for the interview. And I'm excited for her too.
Yeah, well, they're going to schedule the interview for some time tomorrow and hopefully it will go great because she does have to do this. Most jobs will require an interview of some kind. You'll have to basically go into the company. These days, you might do it by Zoom or by, internet. But you kind of have a face-to-face meeting with a person, probably not just on the phone, probably face-to-face. They'll ask you questions, tell you about the job. You'll ask questions, show you're interested in the job. There are many great tips for job interviews so that you can be successful. And once the interview is free, Jack will make a decision and hopefully Laura will be the person that he hires.
Yeah.
I think it's looking pretty good for her.
So exciting.
All right, guys, that's it. So you see, calling someone you don't know doesn't have to be that scary. In fact, it can be a good way to stand out when you're looking for a new job, for example. That's all the time we have for today, but we'll have one more day, all the telephone talk tomorrow. So please come back and join us for that. Until then, bye-bye. Click. Laura is making a call to Jack Johnson.
Hello, Jack speaking.
Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson. My name is Laura Kendrick, and I'm calling about your advertisement for an assistant.
Wait, how did you get my phone number? It wasn't in the ad.
I just called the company's main number, and when I asked for you, the operator put me through.
I must say, that's very clever of you, Ms. Kendrick.
Thank you. I try.
I could use somebody like you. Can you come in for an interview tomorrow?
Of course. What time would you like me there?
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下这一课的重点单字。第一个 advertisement， 它是一个名词，广告。那缩写我们也可以念 ad。Danny scanned the job advertisements in the paper. Danny 浏览了报纸的征才广告。Scan 是一个动词，表示浏览、粗略的看，也可以是扫描这个动作哦。下一个单字 assistant， 它是一个名词，助理或者是助手。She works as an assistant to the manager. 她是我们经理的助理。那 assistant 它是从 assist 这个动词变过来的，它等于 help， 就是帮助、协助的意思。下一个单字 clever， 它是一个形容词，表示聪明的、机灵的。Peter is not a clever boy, but he works hard. Peter 不是一个聪明的人，但他很用功。下一个单字 interview 是一个名词，表示面试。I had a job interview with a publisher yesterday. 我昨天参加了一个出版社的求职面试。Publisher 是一个名词，出版社。那 interview 除了名词之外，还可以当动词，采访。 Who's the most famous person you've ever interviewed? 你采访过最有名的人是谁呢？接着我们来看一下这一课的重点文法。第一个 make a call 打电话，后面可以加 to 再加上对象。Can I use your cell phone to make a call to my mom? 我可以用你的手机打通电话给我妈吗？下一个文法 A asks for B，A 要找 B， 用来表示要与某个人见面或者是洽谈。The customer is asking for the manager now. 那位客人现在要找经理。下一个 I must say that 后面加主词再加动词，我不得不说。那这里的 that 是可以省略的。我们来看这个例句 I must say that it was a fantastic show from the beginning to the end. 我不得不说，这场表演从头到尾都令人惊艳。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Ian.
And I'm Matt.
And today we're playing a game called Word Drop where we each have different words or phrases on these 3 index cards that we've never seen before, and we're going to casually work them into our conversation today. All right, ready?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to start first. Okay. I remember when I was young, I used to read all these fables, you know, like when, I don't know, just all these fables about like Hansel and Gretel and like the Little Red Riding Hood and stuff like that. And there would always be like a moral to the story, you know, and like a lot of times, like the villains in these fables, like the bad guys, were actually very clever in deceiving the good guys.
Oh yeah, I used to read fables as a child too. And these clever villains. Yeah, so I think I actually saw something on TV recently. I was watching one of my favorite TV shows, and I also saw that they used something while I was watching a TV show about a fable. I saw a very interesting advertisement.
Yeah, advertisements are, it's like a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's crazy how much marketing goes behind like a t-shirt, a watch, you know, shoes, pants, anything, right? It's like just, it's consumerism. It's like, that's what, they just want you to buy stuff, right? But like a lot of times it takes a whole village to make these commercials. And like, for example, a lot of directors, because I've directed before, like you will have an assistant. And that just makes your job easier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, I think assistants are very helpful. And I know that once I was working in an office, but I didn't like my job, and I saw an advertisement for another job, and it was to be someone's assistant. So unfortunately, I didn't get the job, but I did go for the interview.
Oh, I like how you like using all my passwords into your current speeches. It's like assistant, clever. Yeah, interviews are always an interesting process, you know what I mean? Because like you're nervous and you're talking to this person, you want to put on like a good performance, or, you know, I guess like have a good performance. And sometimes like you want to ask for the best possible income that you can get.
Yeah, I think that can be hard to do. I was always nervous to ask for a higher salary when I was working, and I found it was too difficult for me to do face-to-face. So I had to make a call to my boss.
Yeah, it's a cop out. Well, now you can even send a text message now, right? Like, who needs to make calls anymore?
See you next time.